Here with Coach Stephen Dixon of the Houston Heights Bulldogs. How you doing, Coach?
Oh man, I'm blessed, man. Just making it through all these crazy times and just spending time with family and my son.
Of course, with everything that's going on with COVID-19, everything's different than it would be. So, I don't know. Do you do spring ball or do you do the
Well,
normally?
we haven't per se done spring ball, but we've done a simulation of spring football, and that's been going well for us. I just hate that we can't do it right now.
Right. So, what are you doing to stay in touch with your kids, keep them motivated, keep the grades up, all that?
Well, one we're just sending weekly workouts to the kids via the Rack Performance app, and we're also sending those same workouts on Microsoft Teams. We have weekly team meetings as well, whether it's via Zoom or whether it's via Microsoft Teams. We just have team meetings, every week with those kids, man, to talk to them about, just keeping the grades up during this time. I think that's more important than anything is keeping their grades up, and also, just doing something to keep them in some semblance of shape. Because I know kids today, man, they love playing video games and that kind of things, and that kind of stuff, man, can keep you in the house all day if you let it.
Especially right now when they're seeing the people that they emulate playing video
Right.
games, the NBA players, the NFL players. Those guys, people are playing video games right now.
Yeah. I know. It's just the way of the world now. But man, you can control what you can control, and the kids that love the game, that are passionate about the game of football, um, that really love it. They're doing something to get themselves ready when all of this is over.
Now, I'm sure you're thinking things through, but we've lost spring ball. You've lost the ability to really interact with your kids. You've lost state 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Not going to be any of those reps out there. So, um, what are the Bulldogs? Let's just be optimistic and say we can get back to strength and conditioning in July and actually take the practice uh, early August. What can we expect to see from the Bulldogs this fall?
Oh man, you can expect to see a more experienced team, more dedicated team. I know over the past, couple of years, we haven't been we haven't been winning the way we have been in the past, despite us making the playoffs. Um, but we were very talented. Um, we've been very young, inexperienced the last couple of years. We had some guys that were freshmen that were playing varsity. When you're on the 6A level, that's tough playing the people that we play. But I think that the experience that we have coming up, um, the talent level, the discipline, the guys being all balled in to what the coaches are preaching to them, what we're coaching them, I think that's going to be the telltale sign for us. I mean, we went 4-6 last year. That's by no means what we're accustomed to. But with that being said, even though we were a young team, you know, 4 of those games could have went either way. We lost by either a touchdown or less, so we could have easily went 8-2. Um, the first round playoff game, we had a really good Memorial team on the run. It was up, I believe, 10-0 going into the middle of the third, and then just kind of bogged down. And this is a Memorial team that had Katie Taylor on the ropes, who went to the fourth round, if I'm not mistaken. Um, they had them on the ropes until the quarterback went down. They had a really good quarterback at Taylor, and I'm sorry, at Memorial, and he's the one that pretty much put it on us. And once he got hurt against Taylor, that kind of bode well for Taylor to come on back and win it. But I felt like we could have easily got out of the first round and advanced a couple of more rounds after that. So with experience, I think we're going to be fine going into the season.
Of course, you started a sophomore quarterback last year,
Yes.
so at least one thing is he won't be a sophomore this year. So
Yeah.
one year on Jalen, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Um,
Jalen Morrison.
so just talk a little bit about him. What did you see in him that made you want to start him as a sophomore quarterback? What are you expecting from him personally?
Well, first thing is he is a very, very, very intellectual kid. Um, Young man has a 4.4 GPA. On the 4.0 scale. He asks questions. No matter what, he's like a coach on the field. He has some rough patches in there as well, because of the maturity level and because of just the inexperience level. Um, but I think he had some great games too. He had a couple of games where he threw for almost 500 yards. Um, and just kind of expecting him to grow into the leader that we expected him to become from the get-go, and why we gave him, and why he earned the starting quarterback position. So he's grown from last year. He's a much better young man. He's a much better player, and I think he's going to guide us to where we want to go this upcoming season.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about Heights football. So a lot of people don't realize that 100 years ago, the first
Yeah,
UIL championship game was between Houston Heights and Cleburne.
right.
0-0 tie co-champions. This being the 100th, or this being the year that UIL is going to celebrate the 100 years. It's currently in the plans for Heights and Cleburne to play week 1 again. Tell us a little
Yes,
bit
sir.
about that. What it means to the school. What level of awareness do you think that everyone at the school had that Heights had even been there 100 years ago?
Well, I knew about it, but I didn't really find out how much, how big of a deal with it until my athletic director started calling me pretty much every day about it. So, and he told me during the time that we were, during the meetings that we were having when we were setting the schedules up, that, hey, look, you can set your other games, but that first game of the year is going to be against Cleburne. And I said, well, why against Cleburne? It's like, Dixon, you guys, coach, you gotta look it up. You guys played Cleburne, over 100 years ago for the state championship, 0-0-0. So maybe I didn't do a good job of knowing my history, but just it, then I talked to some alumni and different people like that, and I think it's bigger than what people realize. I'm looking forward to it. I've talked to the coach from Cleburne; he's looking forward to it. And I think as the game gets closer, I think people will realize how big of a deal this is for not only Heights and Cleburne, but for UIL for the 100-year anniversary.
Now, you're losing a little bit of the buildup that you might have for that because of the COVID-19 and not being in school right now. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, it's a UIL. I mean, it's got to be huge just as a motivator for your kids to learn that history and then to
Mm-hmm.
be able to go do this special game that the UIL is setting up.
Yeah, for them, it's I had to explain it to them, because the first question they ask is, hey, coach, why are we playing Cleburne? Why are we playing them? They're in the Dallas area, and I explained to them why. And once I did, they became a little bit more excited about it, and I think it pushed them. I think especially when they started hearing that the game may be at AT&T Stadium, that even caused a little bit more of a excitement between the community, the school, the kids and the fans, everybody. They were all looking forward to going up there, maybe even spending the night and just enjoying the time for that 100-year game. But we're gonna make it fun regardless. Whether it's at AT&T, whether it's at a neutral site, it's still going to be a big game for the community, big game for the boys, big game for Cleburne, and everybody is very much so looking forward to that game.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you for the time. Look forward to getting a chance to see your Bulldogs out on the field again.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we
Yes,
can
sir.
get things back to normal and get the football season in.
We'll do, man. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Tony, man, and you guys be safe.